the world. 2,000 years ago, Julius Caesar conquered all of Gaul. 500 years ago, Christopher Columbus gave the natives of the Caribbean a big fat middle finger and gave us the Americas. In 1969, human ingenuity prevailed and man landed on the moon. And in the year of our Lord, 2003 AD, Gabe Newell gave us steam and the Source engine. And that very engine came to birth what we know as Garrys Mod.
In the early 2000s, video games were changing. Graphics were getting better, physics were more realistic, and thanks to the internet, people could finally argue with strangers in online lobbies.
Looks like a loser right now, you test procedures in
But most games still had one problem. They were made to be played a certain way. You followed objectives, completed levels, and tried very hard not to break things. And then came Garry Newman. In 2004, Garry was just a programmer messing around with Half-Life 2's engine. But instead of making another shooter or serious mod, he created a physics playground. He called it Garrys Mod. And at first, it was just a fun little project. No goals, no missions, just a world where you could spawn objects, mess with physics, and experiment with the game engine. Garrys Mod started out free, but in 2006, Valve took notice and said, "Hey, wanna sell this thing?" And just like that, Gmod became an official game on Steam. At first, it was just a sandbox, but then something happened. The community took over. People started making their own game modes. Some you might be more familiar with, like Trouble in Terrorist Town, Prop Hunt, and Dark RP. By the 2010s, Garrys Mod had exploded. It became one of Steam's most played games, a YouTube content goldmine, and the birthplace of countless internet memes. Even after 20 years, Gmod is still around. It's not the prettiest game, and yes, it will crash if you spawn too many objects, but it's still the ultimate sandbox for messing around, breaking physics, and creating whatever weird ideas may come to mind. And Garry, he moved on to making new things, like Rust and the upcoming Sandbox. But Garrys Mod is still his most famous creation. The game that proved sometimes the best way to play is to break everything.